that pass, the young man left the court in the back court, airborne, received the ball, and landed in the front court, which would also be a violation. Why? Because where he left was his status. You have to have a status. His status in being airborne is in the back court, but that's where he left from. He hasn't gained front court status until he has one or both feet landed on the front court.
Okay.
So therefore, if I pass, I'm in the front court, and I pass my teammate the ball, who's jumping from the back court to the front court, and he catches the ball airborne, we got a violation there as well.
All right.
So did you originally think that was a violation?
I thought 34 wasn't. I thought the guard right there was.
Right, okay.
So remember, we don't have this ability.
Just stop.
Is that backcourt?
Can I say it again? I think it was. Yeah, he was all the way back. But then nobody hit the ball, did they? Yeah, I think his team was the last person to hit it.
Hit it or get possession?
Didn't he hit it over? His team hit the ball over, right?
Okay, so what? They hit it over.
So I think it's backcourt. I think it's a violation.
So so I learned this the hard way. So we have the rule books, right, to help us.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to make sure that, once we become registered officials, that we start reading the rules and understanding the language.
Okay.
The rule books. So communicate with coach. It wasn't an intentional tap. Like I didn't control the ball. So a rebound, there is no status.
Okay.
There is no possession. So if I tap it, but if I'm, if it's me and D intentionally hits it back to someone towards half court, then yes, I can say that was a controlled possession and she grabbed it and hit it back to somebody in the back court.
Right. That's a judgment call, because I may not think
Right.
that in control tap, and you may think that it is. So it's all of what your perception, what you think is a judgment call on how you think that person controlled the tap.
Okay.
So I don't think they got it right.
Let's back up a little further. So actually, it's clear understanding when does possession end? I know you're still on the rebound, April.
Yeah.
But for Darnell, so it's clear. Possession ends on the shot.
Yeah.
Once you shoot the ball,
Right.
now team possession is over.
Right.
That's why when April said
Nobody can actually possess the ball right now. Okay.
once you shoot it, team possession is over. So now we don't have any possession. We have a rebound that's a loose ball that's been either controlled tap or just been tapped. And that's like D said, now we're in the judgment area. Did they control that tap as if they were passing it to somebody?
I mean, you better put two hands on that ball and turn and look at somebody for me to really say.
It was controlled.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to play it back again and see how they levitate, April. See how they
Yeah, so that wasn't controlled. I don't think
So we have plays that look funny, that you think, you gonna have people yelling out the stands, and I think there's a clip that kind of talks about it, but you gonna have people yelling, coaches yelling, players looking at you. Know the rules, confident in it, going like this. All right, so. So let me preface and say, these are some of the hardest calls to make. The last thing you do not want to do, you do not want to have a large. Malcolm's calling the block, you call it the charge.
Right.
Because it makes you look like you don't know what you're doing as a crew. Right? So we have to understand what a block and what a charge looks like and understand, again, the language. What do you have?
I have a block.
You have a block?
Mm-hmm. Cause I don't think he, gained possession. I don't think he was set. And his body was going back as he was coming to the ball. I'm wrong, okay, that's why I'm here.
I let it go again. Malcolm, what you got?
I gotta look, I wasn't looking. On that,
Mm-hmm.
I got a block.
Okay.
I'm thinking that the contact, my reason is because the contact is not in the torso of the defender. The contact was hip to hip, and I thought he flopped. I either got a no call or a block because the contact wasn't through his torso.
So it has to be center mass, almost like center?
It's the classic textbook charge, the way to take a charge is center mass.
Okay.
But when you get into the hip to hip type of area, now I'm starting to favor the offensive play rather than the defensive play.
And what about him leaning back a little bit?
That too was a flop. I said he was flopping, so I thought he was flopping. But that little contact on his hip, he make your big ass fall down. Show it again.
I mean, but you do have players that back up. You can protect yourself.
You
That's
can
why I
back
said,
up. You don't have to be set.
Right.
So you said two things, Darnell, that typical fans or coaches will say, he
Yeah.
wasn't set. Well, that doesn't matter. Or he was moving. That doesn't matter.
right.
You
And
can
that's
move
why when you
obliquely.
said it, I was
You
like,
can move backwards. You don't have to be set. You have to establish a legal guard position, facing your opponent 2 feet on the floor
yeah.
to initially.
That
Then
is,
once that's initially established, now you are allowed to back up. You are allowed to move. You hear commentators on TV say, "Oh, he wasn't set." Well, that doesn't mean anything.
Okay, so
Right.
this is some great teaching right here.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like I said, I thought I knew everything.
Open the line.
See that? That ain't making him fall. I ain't buying that. I ain't buying that.
Also, it's almost a physics thing. Is the physics in place that he can make him fall with that kind of contact?
Now, that looked more of a, let's see. To me, that looked more of a charge than the other one.
I got a block on that one too.
I don't see it.
What about him being off his feet? The defender getting off his
You
feet?
get off your feet vertically.
Vertical,
Okay,
we have that
okay.
coming up next. You
Okay.
see?
Yeah, I don't see that would be.
There's a lot of misnomers. You know, we just don't know. We just don't know. That's true
Right.
for all of us.
And kids flop a lot to sell the cause to us, right?
And remember, we making.
But look at his position. What kind of, that's terrible right there. This shouldn't even be on the damn video clip. What is he doing?
Cause he should be on the baseline, right?
Yeah, what the hell is he doing over there?
Don't stop.
All right, I won't start.
No, I said don't stop. I was talking to Donnell.
Oh.
Like he had a chance to get to the
Hit the
baseline,
baseline,
keep
right.
efficient, you know what I mean? I mean, you can stop to
But
get
I
a good
think he
look.
had a good angle.
He got it right. Yeah,
I think he had a good angle.
He did.
He might not have done it right.
He right. He probably had a better angle than him.
Right. That's why he stopped right there.
You're right.
All right, let me go to the next one. Lindsay just talked about this one, or asked about this. And this happens a lot.
2010, 2011, NFHS points of emphasis, verticality.
So you see how.
Principle of verticality. The committee is concerned that the principle of verticality is not being applied consistently.
So I don't need him to talk. But this is the definition of verticality, or when we start talking about verticality. And this goes into legal guarded position. So what Lindsay and Malcolm, what you all were asking about in terms of, being set, is legal guarding position, is what it is. So when people say set, we say legal guarding position. So as you can see for verticality, you see point B, for this position, the defender may rise or jump vertically and occupy the space within his or her vertical plane.
Okay.
The hands and arms of the defender may be raised within his or her vertical plane while on the floor or in the air. And the defender should not be penalized for leaving the floor vertically or having his or her hands and arms extended within his or her vertical plane.
Do you think that happens a lot? Defenders are penalized for leaving the floor?
Absolutely. I think for officials that don't know,
You gotta let him loose.
yep. Officials, and the more you referee, the more you see plays, the more you're like, oh, okay, that's a no-brainer. And just the fact that you're going through some of these right now, Darnell, it will help you as you go out there. You're like, oh, I remember seeing that. Okay, and it'll make you start thinking like, wait, why was that? And this is why you have your rule books, because you're gonna start thinking about, because you're like, wait, what was that? If I had to explain that to a coach, would I know what to say?
Okay.
So let me say this, that last play that we just saw, when we talked about him leaving the floor. So the fact that he left the floor, okay, that's nothing. The fact that he put his chest into him while he was airborne is where the block came in. Because he literally did him like this. I don't know if y'all was paying attention. So that's something you can look at. He can jump, but he jumped into him. You know what I mean? So that's where the contact came.
I mean, and from a human movement perspective, nobody flies back like that without initiating some type of contact themselves. Had he just stood there and took the contact, he wouldn't have flew back like he did. So he was trying to sell that car like he ran into me.
It could have been offense. Had he just stood right there and not did
Well, that's on the coach to say, hey, just go straight up, no movement, just go straight up, as opposed
Well,
to.
they don't know either
They don't.
sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's all that players had.
that automatically leaving the floor. They be thinking, oh, he left the floor. Oh, he moved. Okay, so you can move. Long as I establish legal position first, I can move to absorb that contact. I can move now, but if I can't, I gotta establish legal guarding position first.
Wow.
Right.
Let's make coaches go through this.
That's
That's
why you
what-
gotta learn these rules and these
Yeah,
numbers, so when
that's
they
it.
talking crazy, you can be like, hey, you can move, coach. You
Right.
establish legal guarding position first.
And they're gonna probably say, you don't know what you're talking about.
But that's amazing how many coaches don't know.
Like I said, they should make coaches should go through this.
Yeah.
I agree.
Or a smart coach would want to. So he can have the advantage of how he's coaching his players.
If I was president of the basketball world, every coach would ref and every ref would coach.
Oh, wow.
Drop them gems.
especially in situations that involve block shots. For example, this clip will demonstrate some of these principles. You can see here the action in the post. Principle A. Legal guarding position must be obtained initially, and movement thereafter must be legal. Principle B. For this position, the defender may rise or jump vertically and occupy the space within his or her vertical plane.
Now,
These officials are in terrible
I was about to
position.
say, he was in bad
The homeowner's
position.
in terrible
That was the
position. What
first
is he
thing.
doing?
He was in a good position
Okay, Darnell.
down here.
He needs to be, he's on the court. That official, you gotta give yourself some space. You gotta be, as much, a lot of gyms you don't have a lot of space.
Right.
But me being kind of tall, I wanna be 6 feet off that baseline if I can, so I can see the totality of it. If I'm on the baseline and they battling right there, all I'm looking at is from the chest up.
Yep.
I can get back, give myself some depth, so I can see, and some width. So I can see the space between the players, and I can see all the players. I can get a better picture. That
And as
guy,
you can see,
he's
he's
way
looking
out of
straight
position.
through. Not straight through. He's looking at the back of somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you're looking at somebody's back, it's gonna look totally different. You can have all three of us in the gym from 3 different angles, but we're gonna have 3 different perspectives. And my dad always taught me, for basketball, basketball is a game of angles.
Mhm.
It's the same thing with refereeing.
Good
Get
point.
the best angle. You wanna be able to see between this player, between these 2 players, especially him shooting the ball. He was good down here, but for some reason, he stepped out onto the court. He just made himself look, he just got a bad angle, just because he took those extra 2 steps to look.
That way.
You don't have to do all that.
Okay.
Just, all you gotta do is start positioning your body to start looking through players.
there ain't no
And
foul.
it
I was
looks
about to say, I
like-
definitely didn't
it
see a
looks like
foul.
He's trying to get an angle, but
But
I don't know
What,
what's on
but
that.
wouldn't
He
the angle
stepped
be
out.
better?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why step out. It
Right.
was fine.
And Darnell, this goes back to what Malcolm, and I think all of us had kind of said earlier about camp.
Mhm.
When you start going to camps or you start doing clinics like this,
Mhm.
we start taking you through better positioning,
Okay.
you know? Because you don't know what you don't know. And until somebody kind of helps you and course corrects it, you know, you're gonna be looking like this guy.
That's right, 'cause
And-
her
and
April said
penalize
she thought she knew all the rules before she got to camp.
Right. So, but he just penalized somebody that just played good
Principle C.
defense.
Right.
The hands and arms of the player. As you can see by this clip, all of these principles being applied result in this. And
part of 9-5.
This next clip will help to demonstrate principle E as it applies to a defensive player in his vertical plane that receives contact from the offense. For this play, we'll watch the action as it occurs in the key between number 21 white and number 1 green. Principle E. The offensive player, whether on the floor or airborne, may not clear out or cause contact within the defender's vertical plane. Here we can see that the defense has established a legal guarding position and is well within his vertical plane. The offense, in his motion to the basket, causes contact with the defender within his vertical plane. This is a foul. Now we'll take a look at a principle of verticality as it applies to a defender
But
whose motion,
again,
although
if you know
vertical,
the rules,
causes contact with
it
the
is what it
offense.
is. But I thought it was nothing. I didn't see him clear out.
Right, that's what I was looking for, a clear up.
It was marginal.
Yeah.
So you would've said no call?
Goes to retrieve the ball, and the defense bellies up and causes number 23 white to be pushed off balance. Principle E. The defender may not belly up or use the lower part of the body or arms to cause contact outside his or her.
And you definitely will see this with girls and younger
Clearly see
kids.
the defender
Because,
that although
you know, because get up on.
Yeah, yeah.
bellies up to the offense, turns, causing the offensive player to lose her balance.
So a lot of times,
This is a foul.
we referee advantage, disadvantage. So when you see something like that, you're like, would she have fallen? You know, has she, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm not saying you wait till the end, but a lot of times we say have a patient whistle. Because sometimes, even though we're making split decisions, we're making split-second decisions. Sometimes we really got to think about, okay, what did I just see? You know what I mean? But you don't want to wait till they're like running up the court.
Yeah.
You're like, whoop, I got a whistle for something that happened a minute ago. You know what I mean?
So in addition to that, I'd like to add, it's the difference between refereeing girls basketball and boys basketball, and you'll learn it. Boys can play through stuff, so that's an advantage, disadvantage. You can kind of, but with girls, you always got to figure out what happened first. Like what caused, it's harder, it's a harder thinking process. I mean, I do both, I do a lot of both. So, which is why, I'm like, okay, I know the difference, but if you don't do both and, you kind of get on the girls' game, you'd be like, wow. You realize that they can't play through a lot of stuff. When they'll lose the ball, they're not as strong with the ball. And just like that little bump, a guy might have been able to swing out of that and pass it, but it caused her to travel. You might think, some rep might be like, oh, she traveled. But what happened first? That little contact that made her travel. Yep, so, yeah.
Especially for girls, like I pregame. So during pregame, especially for girls, the first thing I usually say is, if they go to the floor, let's make sure you know how they got to the floor.
Because they fall a lot.
Yep. And I mean, I was one of those girls. I was hustling, but it wasn't because D pushed me down. I'm gonna tell you this. As a shorter person, I'm gonna be harder on somebody like D. I'm always gonna come in. I'm trying to get the ball. I'm trying to irritate her because I don't want her to go up with a shot.
Right.
But again, when balls go loose and certain things happen, when you got a player, you just gotta know your personnel. That's what I say.
Okay.
You gotta know, okay, that little one over there, she's always diving. She's always gonna be on the floor. But if she goes to the floor, I gotta make sure I know how she got there, but make sure she didn't do something to somebody else.
Right. Just because she went to the floor don't mean it was a foul.
Yeah. This one is minor, but it kind of shows player behavior, and I'm gonna tell you it kind of varies. This is minor, but you want to take care of business when y'all on the floor too. So I'm gonna tell you, this is like a nuance for me. I don't like it.
First you set the ball there. If you don't get it. go get it.
What would you do to address that behavior? Even though there's something minor.
Right.
Turn and cuss at you.
If it was her first interaction, I would gave her a verbal warning.
You would have gave her a warning.
Yeah, a verbal. I would have told her right then. That's
What
what
would you
I.
have said to her?
For one, I would have said, "Give me the ball." Give
You
me.
would have said it to her like, give me the ball.
I mean, I'm saying, don't. When she said it down there, because it looked like he told her to go get it.
Yeah, it did look like you told her to go get it.
And I would say, pick it up and throw me
We
the
don't
ball.
chase balls.
Right,
They're playing. They can go get the ball.
right. Now, when she kicked
And
it,
don't throw me, don't launch no ball
Right.
at me. Don't be
even
nice to
when she
her.
kicked it, I would have told her next time, toss me the ball.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what's the correct? How would you handle
I would have done some sarcastic, like, kick it back at her.
it?
Or I would have moved out the way. I mean, it just would have been something. It would have been like, hey,
Mhm.
like, don't. Yeah, I would have said something.
Okay.
You know, when she kicked it, I would have, or I would have looked at her and be like, young lady, don't kick the ball again.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. And now, do you think now number 32 on my radar? Yeah, she got one more time.
It's not necessarily that I'm going after her, but typically, player behaviors kind of dictate what they're gonna do out on the court. That's my personal feel.
Okay.
And there's another clip you have. You could just refereeing. You definitely have to know. I'm gonna skip that one. You definitely need to know. You need to identify your problems as children.
Okay.
Sometimes you can look at them in the layup line.
Yeah, I mean,
You can look at their
that's-
face, their body language.
That's just like teaching too, especially because I've been a substitute for years. See,
So you see,
this is to me would be my reference as a coach too. This is probably be my reference thing.
what's that?
See, because I'm looking at both of them. The black, he hooked him first, but now white got his arm under. If we go back just a little bit. Look at that hook. See, and I know they're gonna call it on the defense.
But that happened too. So first of all, we waited a long time to do something.
Right, because it brewed up earlier.
This official right here,
Mhm.
he has the best look at this play. But you see, it looks like he's looking over here.
Mm.
He's not necessarily looking here. There's no reason for this official,
Yeah.
because this is like 3-man. There was no reason for this official to have to call something like that.
Is it 3? Is it what a third?
I don't know.
Okay, so
That's
if
what
it
it looks. I don't know.
this is a good question for me in a 2-man. In the 2-man, what's his main focus?
So 2-man, when we get out there, we can show you. But 2-man, you pretty much have everything in
In the
the
middle, right? That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what they. I remember that.
Because you work a lot for 2-man. But you would have to go through, you want to go wherever there's activity.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, that's where you want to officiate.
Okay.
So, but again, we waited so late. They were here, you know, they
Yeah,
exchanged
back there,
position.
right.
Yep. And then we waited. He blew his whistle first
He
before
didn't
he
blow
did.
it.
And those kinds of plays, those cause fights.
Yep.
Because had they fallen to the floor, I bet you it would have been some of this. Somebody would have ran in and pulled somebody, you know, push somebody off, like, get off my boy.
Right,
You know,
right. So let's back it up and tell me where you would have blew your whistle at, if you don't mind. Uh-huh,
I probably would have moved my
okay, that's what I said
Because
first. That's
White
just
kind of
intentional.
came through, but he let go
Uh-huh,
fast because he was trying to get around. Now, how he maybe found kind of hard to say, but I definitely wouldn't want him to get down here. You know, because now, you know, somebody's about to throw something.
right, something going, right, you, something about to happen.
And Black was holding him a lot. And so that's why, because Black was holding White,
Mm-hmm,
now you got retaliatory
yeah.
behavior. You hold me, I'ma hold you, because I'm just trying to defend you.
Yeah.
I can't defend you if
If
you
you
hold
hold
me. So if you holding me, I'ma hold you. So this last one,
So what did they call it?
they called it White. I don't know who they called it on.
I think they called it
I
on
think
White.
they called it on White.
See, if
And
he
had he
did,
just come over a little bit more
Yeah.
when he saw there was activity, that's just my personal opinion. Refereeing is more than making the calls when someone has the ball
mm-hmm,
or when they're about to be throwing the ball. It's about the biggest thing for officiating was off-ball officiating, or is off-ball officiating. You see the stuff that happens. You see the stuff that happens away from the ball
uh-huh,
that help clean up your game. When you don't do that, it makes it harder for you to be a good official. So this is a game, and this is the type of stuff that we see, and it kind of ties into what we just saw. And this goes into, so we talk about heightened awareness a lot. So you'll hear that, especially with basketball right now. And what I mean when I say heightened awareness, again, knowing your problem children, is it a rivalry?
right.
Is it two AAU teams that typically don't like each other? They jockey in the first place in the tournament. Those things do make a big difference. It's going to impact the intensity, the level of competition. It brings out a lot of different things in players. And again, you got to be able to identify those things when you're on it. If your gut says, I think my game is going downhill,
Uh-huh,
you need to do something about it.
all right.
And usually that means you may have to go there and whistle more. You may have to give some teas.
That's what I was gonna ask you. So in a case like that, if you detect it early, so you should make sure you get on it early, and that way they know, okay, she's not playing.
There are some games where it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
But then there are some games where, you know, it's been games where all of a sudden something happened. But this is a perfect example of stuff that happens.
I think I've seen this clip. Yeah, I've seen this clip. In 34, he gonna go at it a few times.
Yeah. So to me, that first foul,
See,
that should have been an intentional.
yes.
Because the definition of intentional means, gosh, what is it? I don't want to say it's intentional, but it's like deliberate. It's unnecessary.
Okay.
And that's
Unnecessary.
unnecessary.
You're right. It's pretty how he came all the way through,
Yeah. I mean, he hit him hard.
and the body language.
Oh, yeah. That should have been a foul the first time. Again, this goes into that off-ball officiating, right? Look at down here as a rebounder. Whoever's back here, looking at the backside of these players,
Uh-huh.
should have saw that. Then we waited until 42 fouls. So he got fouled twice. Watch when he gets the rebound. Oh, that was after. But it was a foul the first time.
You know, on 34, when he body, yeah.
But see, someone like 34, I would be watching.
You're right. And even that, look at his body language.
Yeah. I would have been watching him.
See, he had been out the game. He got to go. That's his second flagrant. Oh my God.
And if I'm not mistaken, in Michigan high school, if you hit a player in the that should be something. I don't wanna say it's flagrant, but it definitely is, he needs a technical. Because what happens with the technicals or flagrant, there's flagrant intentional, then there's flagrant personal.
So 2 flagrants, would he have been out of there? If they would have called the first one a flagrant?
Yeah. Or you can just toss them. Like that one, how he just pushed the kid. Well, first of all, the kid, that, to me, that should have been a block. Cause, but again, you don't push a player like that. I may have had 2 fouls. I might have had a 1 on red, just, you know, a personal foul. But when you push them in the back like that, and again, this just helps clean up the game.
So you can make a judgment call right then on the first potential flagrant or just a hard for to
You
eject.
gotta watch them all the way through.
So that could be a technical foul, or was unsporting-like kinda, or if you deem it flagrant, he gotta go. Give him 2, you know what I mean? Get out of there because
But what about the coach's argument that this is his first one?
we don't care
I
about
don't care.
that.
So
That's
that-
not my problem, that's for you to determine. I'm just kinda I'm out there to manage the
I'm
game.
trying to prevent a fight.
Yeah.
That right there can prevent a fight. You always gotta be thinking, what can arise to a fight? Say you don't call nothing there, or say you just call it technical. But if you're not an official that's been watching what's been happening with them 2 players engaging the whole game, he stay in the game, now the next couple of plays, he retaliates.
Yeah.
So you just never know. You gotta always be thinking, I need to de-escalate the situation, or do I need to get this player out of here? No, you know what I mean? Like something. You gotta always be thinking
Is it
that it
always
could be a
thinking
fight.
too that if you get a phone call from MHSA or if there's a review process that you can articulate your reason and basis why?
I have never known MHSAA to not back an official.
Right.
That right there would probably be something that they would say he need to be gone. So it's all
Can I see it
judgment.
again? I missed that part. Can I see it again?
It's all judgment, because that can incite a fight. We always want to not.
Who's the flagrant? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
And you can see how, well, 34 is a problem child.
34. I watched this. He was from
So
34.
he's mad
Yeah.
that he got
Yeah.
the ball stolen. And you can see he was talking stuff.
And he
But
walked in his face.
then the official never addressed him. She didn't even address.
Walk right past him.
Right. And those are the types of things where you say to somebody, you do that again, you're gonna
Yeah,
sit on the bench or you're gonna find out about it on the way home.
And to
Somebody
me,
else.
depending on what point we are in the game, I already know this dude a problem. So he's going to sit down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him technical and he's going to sit down. Right now, coach, get him out of here. Because you can tell he's a problem. You know who your problem people is out there immediately. You should always be looking, spotting who the problem people.
So
who gonna
let's
mess up
talk
your game.
about for the new referee. How do you encourage them to have the ability to handle that right then when you talk about the newness of the experience and just having to make that decision in an intense game? You know, the intimidation factor that may come with making that decision early on.
It's a couple things. Oh, well,
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
a couple things. One, he a big dude. You can tell he probably trying to intimidate people out there. You see how big he is over everybody else. You know, now I don't know if anything else happened before that.
And it had.
But so here's the thing: he done already caught your attention. He's
Uh-huh.
under your radar, so you
Yeah,
just
that's
watch
what
him.
she said. She
Yeah.
find
You know,
your
that's
problem
it.
solved.
I mean, it's nothing else. You
And
got to be
players
watching
know.
the players and paying attention to the game.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of tell if I call a foul and you don't have nothing to do with the play, but you always got something to say. Them the ones you want to watch too.
Yeah.
You know what I
Because
mean?
it's
So
funny because you have some players that go, no, I can't do it because the ref watching me. I've heard players say that.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, you're right, I am.
Yeah.
I'm watching.
Yeah.
And we have to understand too, just because you have a whistle in our mouth, don't mean that you can't take the whistle out. Hey, stop.
Chill out.
You know, before I even see you doing something, hey, don't you think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, and that's our way of saying to them,
that's
I
preventative.
see
I'm watching you. I'm
yeah,
watching you. Yeah.
like, you better not do what I think you about.
And as a coach, when people would do that to my kids, I like that ref. I go, hey, you see she not playing, chill out.
Right.
So I see what you're
It's
saying.
preventative officiating is no different than you telling somebody, oh, hands, you know, you let them know, get your hands off. Or
Right.
It's
Yeah,
no
I'm
different than you telling, you know, than you saying to them, hey, watch that, I saw that. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's no different. You prevented them. You try to prevent them from doing something else where you gotta penalize it.
Okay.
Right. But this one, you don't get no talking to. This is
Yeah,
just,
right there, you,
this just taking care of business. Cause again, like he said, this
Right.
prevents a fight.
Cause
Had he called-
right. He lucky another teammate ain't
And
coming.
he
So
let
another
that little boy
question
just swing
is-
and hit him in his face.
Yeah.
That happened, and number 34 was retaliated right then.
Look
I mean,
at
first
34
number
again.
two.
Now he should have been. That's his third foul
That's
like
like
that.
his third or fourth,
he out of here.
like that.
He should have been out of there though. But that.
Well, look at the
see,
refs, they're not doing
they're not even
anything.
talking to him.
They called a regular foul.
Nah, we fighting now.
So, okay, I'm curious, what's going on there? Are they overly influenced by where they are? Are they overly influenced by who the AD is or who the district
I
is?
have
think
no
they-
idea.
I just think they're average
They-
officials.
You just don't know.
I mean, but I don't know. As I ain't never refed a game yet, but if I seen that, that's at least his third time following somebody.
Like, look
like
at this,
that.
look at the smug they got.
And
They're
remember
like,
what I said? His body language is I don't give a fuck. You know,
"Hey,
Right.
I'm gonna keep
But
it
like
moving."
D said, now to me, this dude look like he played football.
Absolutely.
So in my head, I'm already thinking most guys that play football
Physical.
don't know how to take the
Control their body.
physicality out of basketball.
Or they're encouraged to bring that because
Yeah.
that's who they are.
Mhm.
They're
But
encouraged. Like,
I
come on,
I don't
man.
see how they letting this guy stay in the game.
But
Like,
I'm not saying to penalize all people because they
But
big,
stuff like
because
this.
this
yeah.
is ridiculous. That's at least his
But-
third one.
But like G said, when you see him, that first foul that we had saw,
Uh-huh.
and you know, you not saying that you pick people out, you don't want to pick on a player
Right,
per se.
right.
But
You got
when
to
you
allow.
see certain things after that first foul, and you see he was doing certain things, you're like, okay, this is okay, I gotta watch him.
Mhm.
Period. It's nothing personal,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But it's just like my goal is to walk away and make sure there were no fights on the floor. I don't like doing paperwork.
Right.
a whistle is your friend. You
Okay.
have to believe that. Now,
Wow.
this coach, this referee looked like he might be saying something to him, but is he paying attention? No, because he's an a-hole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's an a-hole. You can tell.
Right.
And he probably like, they ain't did nothing yet. I done got away with 2-3 things. You know what I mean?
And on top of that, when he pulled him down, had this been a cross rivalry game,
Mhm.
right? Or some intense game, you gotta, as an
This
official,
clear.
even if you didn't blow your whistle, if you blew your whistle, you stay there,
Uh-huh.
right? But as the other two officials, or you're the other one, this is where you gotta start being aware of where players are on the floor. and what's
Yeah,
happening.
if it jump off,
Yeah.
it pop
Who
off.
looking like they want to do
And then,
something.
and then on top of that, not to throw all this stuff at you, but you got your player get hurt, basically how you fouled him, right? Then,
Mhm.
but not, maybe everybody calm, but the coach is going nuts, thinking we should have threw him out.
Uh-huh.
Now what you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
What you gonna do if that happened? You done saw what happened with this player, and how he done took him down, and we got a regular foul. But this coach over here,
Going crazy.
cuss, what you gonna do?
See, me personally, I would have had him out earlier, but if I did, I mean, I
But
didn't
you
keep
did.
that gone.
You
so,
did.
So
Your
right
partner,
now,
partner called a regular foul.
Right.
What you gonna do?
see, now what do you? I'm asking, do you go talk to the ref? I mean, the coach and try to calm him down?
So two things. So it's two things that could actually happen. Because you're the partner on the floor, you saw what happened, you
Uh-huh.
can go to him and say, hey, you think that was flagrant? Have him thinking.
Go
You know
go
what?
to your partner.
Your partner.
Okay.
Right,
uh-huh.
because you can upgrade, right?
Okay.
You had a regular
Okay.
foul. He
Right.
can always go intentional.
All right. Okay.
So that's part of, you saw it. From his angle, and now I'm just saying,
Uh-huh.
angles. From his angle, it might have just looked like a regular foul. But you might be like, hey, I think that's flagrant. He took him from his feet from under him, he hit his head on the floor. Hey, and then he might be like, oh shoot, okay, we're
And
gonna
then we go.
upgrade it.
Okay.
Now we got it. But you still got this coach there going
Yeah.
nuts. So
Uh-huh.
you ain't gonna tee him. This is what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tee him. Because in my mind,
It was-
I know that should have been an intentional
Right.
foul. If I can't get my partner to change it,
Uh-huh.
then I'm not gonna tee this coach. But I'm gonna do everything I can to calm him down and then send my partner over there that didn't change the call to go talk to him.
Okay.
Do.
And
Is that
that's
gonna
fair.
be red? That's gonna be red?
You going on over there and explain to him why you ain't got to play.
Right, because you can't tee him, because if you tee him, not really.
No, you can see.
You can
That's
tee
what
him.
I'm saying. I'm saying, like you
But
said, you don't want to
You
tee
just
the
gotta
coach
be
because
thinking.
then you know he missed the call and you gonna tee,
Yeah,
so
and
he got-
it's
he
just,
got
and it's
double.
not, granted, everybody not thinking like that.
Right.
You know, everybody don't think that. Somebody might be like, oh, he going nuts. Whack, I got him. Because he being the butthole, but you gotta try to, at minimum, try to talk to him like, hey, he coming over here, you know, maybe explain what you have or whatever, however you want to kind of smooth it out. You might not be able to smooth it out,
Right.
but you can be, hey, Don or whatever, come on over and talk to the coach. You know, let him know what you had. Get out there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's funny though. But we can always tell our partners to upgrade because a lot of times the angle what you see might not look like what it was when you caught it.
Right, I mean, but there's no way in this one, I don't know how he just don't see that, how he went down. And I mean, and I know I've been on games with D and it's been some other people where like recently, I was like, hey, I think we should go up with it, And as soon as if I hear this, or if I do this and I hear poof, my partner running in at me, I'm like, okay, I saw that right then. Like I wasn't sure. And as soon as like
sometimes you're not sure, right?
She came to me like April, and I'm gonna be like, okay. I might nod at her and say, you saw that too, and she might say, yep. I'm like, all right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Because a lot of what we call, remember, is right there so fast.
Right.
You know, it's like, okay, I got a foul. I know I got a foul. Now, if some of my partners come to me, because that's what you want to be. You want to be a good partner. So if you go to your partner, you want to be the one to change the call. Like, you know, if I'm not going to come to you if I don't think it's 100% what I saw or what I think it is.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Whether I think it's a ball out of bounds or whatever, deflected, I think it's why. I'm going to give you 100% information, and it's up to you to change it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
don't run to your partner saying you think.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm going to look at you and be like,
no,
I don't think. Shit. Like, you know what I mean? Excuse me. But,
fine.
you know what I mean? I just, don't come to me and say, do you think?
Uh-huh.
Or did you see what happened? No, but I'm gonna, you know, I've had partners do that to me before. You think that went off of blue? I don't know who it went off of, but we gonna stay here.
Right.
Bye. You know what I mean? And it's not to be funny. It's just give me information. That's the biggest thing.
April, it was off white. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't change it.
All right.
I mean,
That's
it's that simple.
Right.
But let's not. It was in the text the other day. I hate huddles. Don't come to me a huddle.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand it. It makes us look like we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We got to talk about every call.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now coaches start to lose a little bit of faith in what we do out there. It
And
just
the
looks
players
bad.
too. Now they got some extra
Like,
chirping.
oh, he always got to talk to her to get his call. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, they did call it.
All he said was two. And just
Look at his face. Right. That's what I'm saying. His face.
That's what would have made me think, like, dang, did I mess that up?
And then my concern too would be you empowering this young man. He think he's the most powerful person in the gym over the refs and other adults and everything.
When the coach saw what
Called that a
happened,
hole.
see, you just
He
took
called
it
a
out.
hole.
Yeah. That's a different one? Yes. That's another one.
No, that was the same
That's
one.
the same one.
I thought the ref talked to him after the
Yeah.
second.
That's the same one. Because remember, he just came off the game. There's just, and to me, that's,
And the
you
way
know,
he walked
flagrant
away.
is, again, that's unnecessary. It's violent.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind calling it flagrant. I'd be like, you know what, D, that might be a conversation me and D come together. I'm like, D, you gotta go. You're a problem child. It just make the game go a lot better.
And he pulled him down too. Like,
You always want to get rid of them people that's messing up your game.
Yeah.
Out there doing stuff, talking junk, all kinds of
Doing
stuff.
the most.
now let me ask you a question. Do you ever go to the coach and be like, Coach, you might want to talk to number 34? Do you guys do that? Ladies do that?
Yeah, but I know how to. Yeah, I have.
Oh, this tape right here, yeah, throw his ass out.
Like I said,
This kid.
we would have fought him. Like
Right,
somebody
yeah,
would have
yeah.
ran up on him.
Oh,
Yeah.
no doubt. No doubt. He ain't playing
Hey, look at that.
basketball.
Look at
He ain't
that.
playing basketball.
And he come all the way down with it. He don't even disguise it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, the most important thing, I think, you know, especially with these situations, and it goes back to we're out there to manage the game.
Mm-hmm.
We're not out there, you know, anybody can blow their whistle, but the most important part, you want to make sure you got a good, strong presence out there and that you're managing the game. You know, yeah, Malcolm might come to a game and be like, Darnell, why the hell did you have your hand up? That's supposed to be a foul. But you had a foul, you just did the wrong thing, right? But Malcolm's not gonna care. He's gonna critique you because he wants you to get better, right?
Uh-huh.
But if you had a game like this and you did the right thing, my is gonna say, at least he take care of business. He still has more. That's somebody that we could work with and continue to develop. You know, he has good potential.
That's
So
what you
we
gonna say,
have-
Malcolm?
Yeah.
It's so many
She can
words.
talk. I'm emphasizing.
He probably won't, but that's what he means.
Especially with that wrong mechanic.
No, I'm just emphasizing.
Malcolm got a couple of pet peeves that anybody that came under tutelage know. Like, it's just certain stuff. Oh, man, he be on it, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. But, you know, it's good that you're here getting this information, but it's about taking this information and actually applying it and being a good referee.
Mhm.
And like you said, the other stuff will come, you know, as far as you being a good partner or a better partner. But the most important part is you want to go out there and manage the game.
Okay.
You know, it's not about us. Nobody comes to see us referee.
Right.
I mean, it might be a couple people that come to see, but nobody says, man, I gotta check out that game down there.
Right.
You know,
Now roughing the day.
Yeah, I'm coming to that.
That's good.
but, you know, again, we're out there to manage the game, to make this fun and competitive for those that play the game.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think, and I've said this before, I think the best compliment I've ever had was like from a parent after a game. You know, you put on your stuff, I'm short, so I don't get noticed as much as like a dude or a mom or right? Right? And plus, a lot of times people don't recognize me outside of my regular uniform, so that works for me too.
I look different than my regular clothes.
But I've had parents come up to me and say, hey, when I saw you on the game, I knew my child was gonna get a fair game.
No, yeah, that's big.
Or, you know what I mean? So it's just, those are the types of things, it's like, wow, okay, cool. But they go, you know, I really like you, you a good referee. Those are the types of things you're like, I did my job. You just wanna walk away and do your job well. And again, I can count. I can tell you the number of games where I fight, and it's not too many. Because, again, my mom used to be fight somebody on my court.
Right.
I'll do whatever I can to prevent it. And again, part of this is managing the game, preventative officiating, which goes back to that off-ball officiating. You could have a whole lot going on right here. You got two players that were mad at each other, maybe in the first half. And something happen, and they could be over here fighting or doing something crazy. You want to be that person that said, nah, hey,
Right.
don't, you know what I mean? Preventative officiating.
Okay.
And I think that's how all of us kind of made a name for ourselves while we were able to go up faster than most. Because it wasn't about, oh, you know, she looked good blowing her whistle, he looked good. It was took care of business.
That did their thing.
We blew our whistle, and that's the biggest thing that I would say newer officials do not do. They do not blow their whistles enough.
Okay.
I see foul, or I see some of these games, even middle school, and some other things. I'm like, how does that even happen? Even though I didn't have a middle school little kids fight, but I couldn't get there fast enough, and I knew it was about to happen. Just couldn't get there fast enough.
Okay.
But again, it was, oh shoot, and I was working with a younger, newer official.
Okay.
So anyway, that's that. D, you got a whistle, right?
We gotta be out of here in about 5 minutes, eh?
Yeah.
All right. Here are the signals.
That's what I want. Is this?
I'm gonna take a picture.
Right, I was gonna say.
Leave that one up.
That's exactly what I was gonna ask.
If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah.
Oh, D. You got time for that? Go over
Okay.
there.
So you got your whistle?
Mhm.
Go now?
Mhm.
We can go through it.
Okay, hold on for a
So-
second. I just wanna get a.
So as he's getting ready for that, yep, the two biggest things, open hand, start clock,
Mhm.
right? And then closed fist, it's a foul.
Okay.
These are only two. You're gonna go here for everything.
Okay.
Here or here. Nowhere else.
So say that again.
It's either start or stop the clock, so
Okay.
violations happen.
Right here.
High five are violations.
And then that's
Closed fist is a foul.
okay.
Every single time your whistle blows,
That's gonna stop the
your
clock.
fingertips should be touching the
Touching.
star. Reach
Okay.
the star.
Yep.
Every single time.
All right.
And then if you figure out it's a foul, then you can close your fist later, if
Yep.
you don't know it right away.
So this is saying what now? Stop the clock?
That's a violation,
Stop the
yep,
clock. We got a violation.
Okay.
We
Whether
gonna
it's
come here
travel.
first, if we gotta travel, if
yep.
we gotta dribble,
Oh, here's the
if
other
we got
page.
bounce, whatever we got.
That's another page.
And then also give you a moment to kind of.
Yes.
To tell you what you did, but you
Yes.
know that always, when you go that whistle, is this.
Process it in.
Or
You
it's
say
a
something about
whole
closing.
file.
Right,
Foul.
okay.
It's a foul.
So it's,
Okay.
so if you have a travel, where's your whistle? So you can practice a little bit.
I got my first game today. I need some T-Wall.
Alright,
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
Worked all year.
$35 a game?
Yep. 3
All right,
I figured.
so if
Where
the,
you going? I
so
kept
you know what some of these are, so if you travel, right, it's, woo, travel, everything is here. So this is your,
Okay.
this is your window.
Okay.
Every, you communicate here, because people at the table have to
It's
see you,
inside the man.
and you want your partners to have,
I'm a-
that's the way you communicate with your partner.
Okay.
This lets me know, if Malcolm's my partner, he know I got something. It's
Right.
travel, double dribble, something happened. If I do this, Malcolm know I got a foul. But that also allows him to maybe communicate with me like, April, I got a foul on blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So this is your communication tool on the court for your partners, for the table, for
Okay.
everybody in the gym.
Okay.
So if a girl travels or a boy travels, what do you do?
It'd be this.
Whistle.
Oh.
Good. Double dribble. Keep it in.
Oh.
Keep going. Carry. Palming the ball. Same thing if you have 5-second backcourt. So if you have 5-second backcourt, it's woo. I said 5 seconds. 10 seconds. If you have backcourt violation, it's gonna be woo. 10 seconds, right?
Mhm.
All right. Let's see. If you got no basket, I don't like doing tip ball.
Okay.
It's there, but I don't do it too often.
They just put that in.
Another quick question, because I went to a game Thursday and I was in at the ref, and they do it sometimes. When you go into the ref, the table to tell them what foul, you have to tell them holding,
Yeah,
blocking.
so
Because he wasn't doing it.
if I have a foul, whistle, right? And I got hold, right? So I go hold, I'm gonna go to the table, blue. I don't point to the bench. I'm gonna go blue, 22, because it's two-hand mechanics. Blue, 24, hold, 2 shots, or whatever it is.
I'm gonna interject about going to the table. Going to the table is not a private meeting. These referees are going all the way up to the table and want to, like it's just between them two. No. As soon as you clear the players, as soon as you got a clear path, as soon as you got eye contact with them, stop right there. Stop, get your balance, now project your voice.
Okay.
This gives you the opportunity to project strength and to exude who you are. And when you run up to the table and get all close to the table, 33, hit them. Rather than standing back. Boom, 33. Red 33, push, out of bounds. Red 33, push, 1-on-1.
Okay.
You don't have to get that close to the table. You see a lot of newer refs especially will run up to the table too close. Don't get close to the table.
Yeah.
Once you pass the 3-point line, you usually got a clear vision. And then you project your voice.
All right.
Now you project your strength.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's color, number, foul type, and if we're shooting, you're gonna communicate that you're shooting. Otherwise, you can just say out of bounds.
Okay.
I'll give you one, even though I'm not-
Right, and it's so if you have a 3-second count, not 3 seconds. Geez, Louise. If you have a 3-pointer, you do a preliminary, right? You have to blow your whistle.
All right.
Nope. I shoot a 3.
Right, it's just this.
It's just a 3. They
And
miss
keep-
it. I just put my
Put
hand
it
down
down.
and
You make it.
keep it to moving.